Hey everyone, Cody here, and this video is really for my kids. And the reason I'm putting it out publicly is twofold. First off, I want to hopefully archive it because I've always had issues with computers and hard drives and stuff and cloud storage. So I'm putting it out publicly so that hopefully YouTube doesn't go anywhere. And it gets stored, so it doesn't go away. The second reason is there are things in this video that I want to address, and this really is a letter to my kids, but it's also things that I kind of wish my parents said to me, and I want to put it out just in case this resonates with other people that maybe were never told this, or maybe can take something away from this in the things that I'm going to say in this video. So ultimately, this is for my kids. The first and most important thing that I want to tell you guys is that I love you. I know that I tell you I love you sometimes, but it's probably not enough. And sometimes when I say it, it's out of habit, or you'll say it and I just say it as a response. But I do. I love you immensely. Every one of my kids, even as much as you mess up or, make mistakes, I love you to death. And I'm grateful that you're in my life, regardless of how you ended up in my life. I love you. And the second part of that is that I'm proud of you. So even when you mess up, even when you make the same mistakes over and over and over again, I'm still proud of you. I'm proud to be your dad in some capacity, and I'm just proud of everything that you've accomplished. I know that there are other people who have accomplished more, and you may feel like you haven't accomplished a lot, but you have, and you know that you have, and I know that you have, and your mom does. So I'm proud of you. And I just wanted to tell you that because oftentimes we don't get told that a lot. And my parents didn't say it a lot growing up. But everything that you've done to this point, I've seen. And I'm proud of you. The next thing I want to tell you is to be yourself. Don't try to be someone else just because you feel like your life isn't going a certain way or isn't important or something like that. Don't feel like you have to give in to peer pressure or that you have to follow some kind of social norm because of stigma or because you feel like everyone else is doing something. Be yourself, okay? I just want you to know that you are a unique individual and you're important. Just you being alive is important or you wouldn't be here. So be yourself, okay? I dealt with that a lot growing up, trying to be other things or other people, or trying to do things that I saw other people doing because, it was cool for them or it worked for them, and but it wasn't me. But I just had a gap or a hole in my life, so I was trying to fill that with trying to be someone that I wasn't. And when you try to be someone you're not, you will just continue to have that hole in your heart, and it will only grow and grow. And just it's not worth it. Be yourself. You know who you are, and I love you for who you are. I love you for being you. You don't have to be someone else to make me happy or anyone else. And if you think that that's the case and you want to try to make everyone happy by being something that you're not, then those people don't truly care about you for you, and that's going to happen. But be yourself. Don't be someone else just because someone else wants you to be that thing or because you feel pressured to be it. Be yourself. If you don't, you'll know, and you'll feel it. So I want you to be yourself. I don't want you to be something that I want you to be, or your mom, or anyone else. Be yourself. We love you for who you are, and the world may challenge it at first, but eventually it will accept you for who you are. And if it doesn't, you'll at least you'll feel good inside knowing that you're being honest. The next thing I want to tell you is to own your mistakes. Look, you're going to make a lot of mistakes in your life. Even if you have, at this point, you're still going to make more. Everyone makes mistakes all the time. There's not a single person that has everything all figured out. But the people who have figured those things out most likely learn from either their mistakes or the mistakes of others. Learn from your mistakes. Own them, okay? Don't run or hide from your mistakes, because they will usually eventually catch up to you anyway. If you make a mistake, own it. And the faster the better, because then you can get over that mistake and move on from it. So don't hide or run from your mistakes. Don't sweep them under the rug. Acknowledge them and accept them. Accept the consequences and then move on. So you can learn from that mistake and not hopefully do it again. And even if you do it again, as long as you're owning it, then you're doing the right thing. So own your mistakes. A lot of times we would just want to push the blame, or we just want to ignore it, or we want to hide or run from it, but it will catch up to you. So don't do it. I believe in you. The next thing is you don't have to be the best. You just have to give it your all. Look, there's a lot of talented people in the world, and there's always going to be people who are better at things than us, especially even friends or family or whoever. I'm not asking you to be the best in the world at whatever you guys do. I'm just asking that you give it your all, that you be intentional and do your best at whatever it is you do, whether it's school or work or serving or activities or whatever. You don't have to be the best. Just don't do anything half-fast. It's not worth it. If you're only putting in a half effort, then how do you expect to get any better or to progress in that thing? I'm not asking you to be the best. I'm just asking you to do your best. Next, you can do anything. And I know that sounds cheesy or cliche, but it's true. The only limits that you have on your life are the ones that you set for yourself. You know, we can probably do anything we wanted if we gave it enough time and effort. So just keep that in mind, that the only things that you can't do are the ones that you set in your own mind to be able to do or not do. Now, of course, there are physical limitations sometimes, yes, but in most cases, there are ways to get around certain things, and you could find a way if you really wanted to bad enough. You know, if there's a will, there's a way. So essentially what I'm saying is, you can do the things that you want to do. You can do them if you put in enough time and effort to finding out the way to get them done. Don't say I can't. I can't is such a meaningless phrase. And there are things that we don't want to do, or things that are very difficult that we just want to avoid. That doesn't mean you can't do them. So you can do anything. The only limits you have on yourself are the ones that you place in your own mind. The next one is be honest. Be honest in everything you do. Be honest with people. Be honest in, your work, your school, whatever. Doesn't matter. Just be honest. What I've found is that lies only come back to hurt us eventually. And there's no point. Lying only saves face in the moment, but eventually it comes back on us. So don't do it. If you don't lie, you have nothing to hide from. You have nothing to worry about in the future. If you just tell the truth, then you're telling it right on the surface, and people might not like the truth as long as you're telling them in love and not just beating them over the head with it. But people will appreciate the truth, especially if you care enough to give the truth as opposed to lying. Yeah, this is the way it is. And people will appreciate that. They won't always like it, but what I found is that people appreciate honesty, because then they can trust you more. And not only that, but then you build up your reputation as a good person, or as an honest, trustworthy person, and you become reliable. And this is something that is becoming more rare, at least from what I've seen in the world. Don't lie. Don't even white lie. There's no point in it. Look, just tell people the truth so they know they can depend on you. and you'll become a valuable resource to them because they'll come for you for your honest opinion, knowing that you're going to give it. And it will only serve you because when people come to you and they know that you're going to tell them the truth, then they just respect you more. And it builds more respect as opposed to lying and getting out of something now, but risking it coming back on you in the end. So don't do it. Just tell the truth, even on small things. Next is about relationships. Look, relationships require sacrifice. Okay, you want a strong marriage like your mom and I have, you have to make sacrifices. Sometimes you have to do things you don't want to do to make that other person happy. Well, I don't like necessarily folding laundry, but if that helps you, then I'll do it. Now that's such a silly, simple example, but it's the dead truth. Your mom has diabetes, and I have to make sacrifices to help her with that. It's not about me, it's about her. And your mom has sacrificed much for me to be able to paint or do the things that I wanted. So if you want strong relationships, you have to make sacrifices. You have to give up maybe a lot of yourself in order to help that other person. Now, there do come points where you overextend yourself, but if you give it that expectation, then it sets you up for success. Because if you give your time or your money or your energy to that other person and you just don't expect anything back, yeah, I can totally help you out. It will pay dividends eventually. And even if you don't see any kind of return from it, then you're going to know intrinsically that you did the right thing, that you were trying to make that sacrifice. So my point is that sometimes you have to make sacrifices, and if you give with that expectation, you don't expect that other person to do something back for you, then there's no way you can lose, because then you've given something to them, so now they're in your favor or they're in your debt. But even if you don't hold that against them, they'll know it, and most people will want to repay that back with kindness. And even if they don't, if you don't hold on to that and you don't care anymore, you did that to be a good person towards them because you love them, then it's only going to build that relationship, because they're going to build respect for you. So I would just say give it that expectation and be ready to make sacrifices. If you make it all about what you want or how you want things, it's only going to destroy that relationship. A lot of people say, they love someone because they complete them. Well, if you're not complete and you're trying to fill a void with some other person, it's not going to work. Eventually it's going to collapse. So you need to be strong in who you are, but you also need to make sacrifices for that other person based on that relationship. So give it that expectation, and you have to make sacrifices to make relationships work. Can't be all about you. Here's the last note that I'd like to leave you, is I would challenge you to do two things that are connected. One is to love the Lord, and two is to love and show empathy towards other people. I can't force anyone to love God, and I don't hate them if they don't. But I'm challenging you to find that, just because it gives you a compass to guide your life. By having that, you can kind of gauge everything that you do by that compass. So it will help you from making some really sad mistakes that I've seen a lot of people make that ultimately destroyed their lives. So I would challenge you as my children to love the Lord. But even if you don't, the second part of that, I would challenge you even more. Love and show empathy towards others. Look, the world is becoming increasingly isolated and more selfish. And so when you can love and show empathy towards other people, it will help you build those relationships with them, but it will also help you get so much further in the world because it's becoming so me-centered. But when you can show love and empathy towards other people, it makes you that person that people want to be around, that people enjoy, that people really just want to have in their life. And it provides a light to a dark world. And I've seen this just in the interactions I've had with the thousands of people at work or in volunteering or in church or just in life, that when I'm nice to those people, or when I genuinely build a friendship with them, it makes them want to hang out with you. It makes them want to see you, and it makes them feel like, hey, somebody cares. So, the Bible says to love God with everything that you are, and then love people as yourself. Even if you don't follow the first part of that, which I would challenge you to, because it could be the difference in eternity if you believe it. But if not, at least love other people, because there's not enough of that. That's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to say. Ultimately, I'm just grateful to have had my children, and I love each and every one of you, and I thank you for being in my life. And if anyone else is watching this video and any of that struck a chord, then I pray that God would help you to work on those areas, because I feel like all of these are very important, and it's things that I wish that my parents had talked to me about growing up. So that's it. I thank you for watching this video, and hopefully I'll see you in another one. Take care.